We are definitely skeptical on that, because we see that hypocrisy and political correctness is still there. The biggest member states, except for Italy now, are not ready to put into consideration the security aspect of migration. The current migration policy of the European Union can be very easily translated as an invitation in the mindset of those people who can easily make a decision to hit the road towards Europe based on their everyday life situation.
On World Refugee Day last week, you passed a new law which makes it illegal to help migrants. It criminalises helping undocumented immigrants, and that includes asylum seekers. Why would you do that?
There are organizations who help people to ask for asylum even if they have no legal basis for that, and promoting the violation of the Hungarian border, promoting opportunities which have no legal basis. If you do so, you have to count with the consequences.
You will be making it illegal to help refugees fill in forms. You will make it punishable by jail to organise or distribute information that could help migrants. Now, you accept this legislation not only flouts human rights, but it also breaks an international treaty you have signed.
The content of the law is not what you have listed. The content of the law is that if you promote illegal possibilities to come to Hungary, then you have to count with the consequences.
Right? Because anyone who lands in your country who calls themselves an asylum seeker has the right to have their papers and their situation examined, and you are now making it illegal, unless I've got that wrong, to help somebody find out or promote or
we are from the south, we are surrounded by peaceful countries. So those people who were violating our borders all came from peaceful countries like Serbia and Croatia. And there's no any point of reference in any piece of international regulations why you should be allowed or helped or assisted to violate a border between two peaceful countries.
Okay. You do know that you don't have an immigrant problem in Hungary. You do know that your own official data says you have 3,600 asylum seekers in a country of 10 million. You do know that there were 300 asylum claims only this year. You don't have an immigrant problem in your country.
No, the challenge is that since the policy of the European Union is still built on invitation, and there are tens of millions around Europe who can hit the road very easily.
It's gone down 51% in the last year.
But
it's gone down 81% in the last 2 years. Okay. So when you talk about this invitation, you're inventing something that doesn't exist anymore.
If you allow me to finish. In the last 3 years, we had time to build the capacities to be able to protect ourselves from the south. We had the time to build capacities to control our border. Now tell me, if the Western Balkan route gets activated again, who will stop the illegal migrants? The first defense line is still Hungary, the southern border of Hungary, because the countries south from us either do not have the capacity or do not have the willingness to stop such kind of influxes.
Except, of course, you use this question of an influx or an invitation or security, whereas really it comes down to something much more simple with your government, doesn't it? When you look at Viktor Orban's words, he's compared immigration to a flu epidemic, he's talked of Muslim invaders, he's talked of Christian Hungary and a mixed population with no sense of identity, and he's called the people coming in potential terrorists. So this isn't actually about immigration, is it? It's about xenophobia.
No, I have to reject that, and I take it as an insult, what you have just said, because we Hungarians, we do have the right, and no one can take that away from us. We have the right to make our own decision, whom we would like to allow to enter the territory in Hungary and who we do not allow to enter the territory of Hungary.
And you don't want to come in are Muslims, is that right?
Just if you can let me finish.
That if you don't mind, because that goes straight to the heart
I would like to answer your previous question,
Yeah.
because that was concluded by a very serious insult against my country, and I have to reject that again, because I always have shown respect to everyone who asks me, but I expect respect not for myself, because who cares, but for my country and for the people I represent. And calling a country xenophobic, it's an insult, especially if you put into consideration Hungary. And no one can take away the right of decision of us with whom we would like to live together. And yes, it is our intention to keep Hungary a Hungarian country. And yes, we do not agree with those ones who say that multiculturalism is by definition good. If you say that, we respect that. If there
so you stand by this idea of Muslim invaders, right?
Sorry?
You stand by this phrase that your Prime Minister used of Muslim invaders?
I stand by, of course, all of the statements of my Prime Minister, and stand by our position.
Potential terrorists.
And stand by the position that if you allow hundreds of thousands of people to enter the territory of the European Union without control, without check, does it give the opportunity for the terrorist organizations to send their terrorists to Europe? Yes, it does. What we don't want is a massive illegal influx coming from the south to us. We want to keep Hungary a Hungarian country, and we don't think that multiculturalism is by definition good. If you think so, if people in this country think so, we respect that, no problem. But please don't put pressure on us. There was an election in April. Come on, don't deny that. There was an election in April.
Which
there was
many
a
of your opposition do not believe was fair.
Oh,
they believe that your party used extra campaign funds to help Viktor Orbán to a success.
That's unserious.
Okay, I'm talking about what your opposition say.
Yeah, okay, and represent them. 70%. 70% was the turnout, record high, 70%. We only on our own received 48.6% of the votes.
Journalists will tell you that press freedoms have been eroded, that they have a creeping sense of working for a PR dictatorship.
Oh, come on.
You know that public administration courts are being set up parallel to existing tribunals. There is a sense of erosion of the rule of law. This is no longer a democracy. It is a creeping authoritarianism in Hungary.
You echo lies. You do echo lies in this television. And I don't think it's fair that you are unbalanced, you are one-sided. You look only at the opinion of those ones who are frustrated because they lost elections. They wanted to fire that government.
Okay,
and that government won. Sorry, that government won the third consecutive election with a constitutional majority. Why don't we respect the decision of the people?
The problem with the EU is it believes in tolerance, diversity, and human rights.
But is it your problem or what?
And you are rejecting them all.
But why do we do so?
It isn't for you.
Why do you insult a country of 10 million people?
Diversity, and human rights.
Yeah.
Because of the laws you're now introducing. They're not my laws. They're the laws of your government.
But they are not against the European values. They are not against the European values. I understand that the liberal mainstream doesn't like our laws. But we have nothing to do with them in this regard, because it is the Hungarian voters whose expectations we have to fulfill.